So I'm gonna get started off by filling in my brows, and for this front part of my eyebrow, just this inner tail end, I've really been liking the L'Oreal Micro Ink Brow Pen. Looks like this, and then the strokes it creates are little lines. So I just really like this on the front because it creates more realistic looking hair-like strokes. I just barely press it to the skin and pull straight up. And then if I want to add a couple more, I'll take the pointy end of the felt tip applicator and just lightly do these kind of hair-like strokes. Just literally flicking it in an upward motion. Brush that product through. Now it is wet, so you do want to give it a moment to dry, but as you can see from the filled in one versus the not filled in one, it looks really natural and it's not blocky. It looks like actual brow hairs that have sprouted from my brow area. And then for this part of my brow, I prefer to use a pencil. I just feel like I have a little bit more control and I like the effect of it a little bit better in this tail area. So I'm using this one from Nabla. It's the Brow Divine pencil in the shade Uranus. And I'll just do the same thing. Little brow-like, hair-like strokes. And just take my brush through so that I can make sure I'm not overdoing it. Just gives that back end of the brow a little bit more structure, which I want. All right, now that we've got this brow filled in, we will do the same thing to this brow and same exact procedure. Just really like this one for that front area in the brow. And like I said, because it is a wet liquid brow product, you do want to wait a couple moments for it to dry before you go in with a gel or anything that's gonna re-wet the product, because it is similar to a stain. So once it's dried down and had a moment to settle, it stays put. And then we will fill in this side. You can fill your brows in however you'd like. The trick to really getting that laminated perked up look is to use two different products that I have found work the best for this. So a hairspray, a stronghold hairspray, tends to be like one of the best things to use. So I'm gonna be using the L'Oreal Elnett Satin, and then this brow gel I think is the best for this look. It's the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter. So the first thing I do is I'll take my spoolie. You can use just the one on the back of an not brush, an eyebrow pencil, or you can use like a little individualized spoolie. And I'll just take the spoolie like this, and I'm gonna directly spray the hairspray onto the spoolie. It's gonna be a little, whoa, I did a little bit too much. It's flinging everywhere. It's gonna be a little bit wet, so just give it a couple moments to get a little bit on the tacky side. Okay. And then brush the hairspray. It's still a little bit more wet than I would like, but we'll make it work. And then once I've gotten them pretty well set with the hairspray, you can feel it start to get a little bit tacky, and you can see my brow hairs are starting to stay in place a bit more. I'll start rolling the spoolie through my brow hairs just like this. And then I take the Benefit 24-Hour Setter. When the hairspray is a little bit more well set, because the comb on this brow gel gives you perfect separation of each of the eyebrow hairs. And I'm not fully pushing the brow gel like onto the skin. I'm just grazing that top of the eyebrow hairs, and you'll see that they'll start staying in that upward set, and you'll get that really nice fluffy top, but not pushing too hard. So it's more so that you're really using the comb on this product to get them perked up, and then the brow gel just really helps keep them in that spot. If you wanted this to be really perked up and to really have that true like laminated look, you can press it down with your fingertip, but I feel like I look like a goblin if I do it too much. So I'm a little bit more selective with where I decide to push down with my finger. So maybe a little bit more on the tail end, maybe a little bit right in the front, just to give that some fluff. But I don't love it the whole way through the brow because I'm telling you guys, like, I really look evil. My brows are already so thick and bushy. It just makes me look like Oscar the Grouch if I do a too laminated look. So I try to make it a little bit more appropriate for my face and the way my brows naturally look. So I like something right in the middle like this. And here you go, the softer version of a laminated brow. See, typically when I do my brows, I kind of brush them straight back all in one direction, and I don't typically get these little fluffy bits at the top, but I actually really like the way that that looks, and it looks a lot less extreme than some of the other versions of laminated brows. If you guys really wanted yours to have that true almost kind of spiky look, then you would just brush up more of that 24-hour brow setter gel and push it down all throughout the entire brow versus just the front, which I've done, but you still see that vibe. And I just think it honestly opens up your eyes a little bit more, and it just makes this space under your eyes look a lot bigger. So I like how it, you know, exaggerates the arch of the brow, and it's just, I think it's a fun look. And I mean, it's not permanent because we didn't actually laminate the brows. So once you wash your face, it's not gonna stay like this, but I don't know. I've really been into this soft laminated brow vibe. You guys know at the end of all my tutorials, I always like to tell you like the biggest takeaways or things that I think really make the look specifically. And I do think the biggest thing for this look is the Stronghold hairspray. It really is more ideal than a brow gel because it's not gonna make the brow hairs clump together quite as much, and you're gonna have a little bit more control over what brow hairs specifically you want them to cluster together. And it also just is a lot more lightweight than any other type of brow gel or brow pomade because you want the brows to not be overly coated with product because otherwise they won't stay quite as perked up for that like laminated look. You don't have to use the Benefit 24-hour setting gel. I've also done this with the Glossier one, so it works just as well. You just want to make sure that you kind of wipe off the little brush before you go in and start doing the actual combing, because this one is quite thick. So again, it can kind of weigh down certain brow hairs, and that's why I tend to go for this one because it's quite lightweight and liquidy, so it's not gonna put any weight on the individual brow hairs. But other than that, just Stronghold hairspray, a good eyebrow spoolie, you're good to go. You just push it down, and like I said, you can really customize this to look however you want. So if you do try it out, I would love to see it. And I would also love it so much if you guys would subscribe to my channel if you didn't earlier, and if you guys would come follow me on Instagram as well. Other than that, I will chat with you guys in my next video. Hope you have an amazing day. Bye guys.